You might think today's NASCAR stars play rough, but wait until you hear about the moonshine runner who pulled a .38 pistol on a competitor who threatened him with a tire iron, or the champion who intentionally sent another driver's car flying through the air in a revenge crash that shocked the racing world. These are the dirtiest drivers to ever grab a steering wheel, and their controversial tactics changed NASCAR forever. Welcome to Track Reactions, your source for all the stories on and off the track. Please like this video and subscribe to get the latest burnt rubber. Number 5. Kurt Busch. From Kurt Busch's early Cup Series days, one thing was clear. He wasn't there to make friends. Before NASCAR stepped in to curb his behavior, Busch burned bridges throughout the garage with an aggression that went far beyond competitive racing. The elder Busch brother didn't just bump competitors, he created enemies. Perhaps his most infamous moment came in a confrontation with Jimmy Spencer, who was so enraged by Busch's on-track tactics that he approached Busch's car in the garage and punched him multiple times while he was still strapped in his seat. That's the level of anger Busch could provoke in his competitors. The list of Busch's controversial incidents reads like a rap sheet of NASCAR violations. At Darlington in 2012, Busch was fined a massive $50,000 for reckless driving on pit road and a post-race altercation with Ryan Newman's crew. After wrecking late in the race, Busch did a burnout through Newman's pit box, with crew members still working in the area, creating a serious safety hazard. He then rammed Newman's car on pit road after the race, sparking a confrontation that nearly became another all-out brawl. Busch's temper wasn't limited to on-track incidents. During the 2011 season finale at Homestead, Miami, he was slapped with another $50,000 fine for making an obscene gesture inside his car and verbally abusing a reporter while waiting for an interview. The breaking point came in 2012 at Dover, when Busch threatened a reporter who asked if being on probation affected how he raced against Justin Algier. Busch's response? "It refrains me from not beating the shit out of you right now because you ask me stupid questions," earned him a 1-week suspension. But the most serious blow to Busch's career came in 2015, when NASCAR indefinitely suspended him after a court ruling that he had, quote, "more likely than not," unquote, physically abused his former girlfriend. The judge found evidence that Busch had manually strangled her and smashed her head into a wall. Allegations Busch denied. Number 4. Tony Stewart. NASCAR team ownership might have mellowed Tony Stewart somewhat, but smoke earned his reputation as one of the sport's dirtiest drivers through decades of aggressive tactics and a hair-trigger temper that made him both feared and respected on the track. Stewart's approach to racing was simple: cross him at your own risk. His warning to competitors was blunt and consistent: block him and you're going into the wall. What made Stewart especially dangerous was that, unlike some drivers who made empty threats, Stewart always kept his word. When he promised payback, it was only a matter of when, not if. Rookies entering the Cup Series quickly learned an unwritten rule: do not mess with Tony Stewart unless you're prepared to find your car in the garage. One of Stewart's most controversial seasons came in 2006, when he was involved in multiple high-profile incidents. After tangling with Matt Kenseth in the Daytona 500, Stewart chased Kenseth halfway across the track to run him into the grass. Stewart's unapologetic response? "He started it, and I finished it." Just months later, Stewart and Kenseth wrecked again during NASCAR's All-Star race. When questioned about the incident, Stewart's temper flared as he declared, "If Kenseth thinks it's my fault and I caused the wreck, he's screwed up in his head." That same year, Stewart sparked another controversy after accidental contact with Clint Bowyer. Stewart responded to being squeezed against the wall by deliberately hitting Bowyer's car, sending him spinning down the front stretch where he collided with Carl Edwards. NASCAR immediately held Stewart 1 lap for rough driving. But perhaps the most tragic incident in Stewart's career occurred away from NASCAR during a sprint car race in Canandaigua, New York. After a collision with Stewart, 20-year-old Kevin Ward Jr. exited his vehicle and walked onto the track to confront Stewart. In the dark conditions, Stewart's car struck and killed Ward. Though Stewart was not charged criminally, the incident sparked widespread debate about track safety and driver conduct. Stewart's temper occasionally extended beyond racing into physical confrontations. In 2002, he was fined $10,000 and placed on probation for punching photographer Gary Mook in the face. In 2011, Stewart allegedly struck track owner Brett Morris with his helmet following a dispute about track conditions at Sydney Speedway in Australia. The following year, Stewart famously threw his helmet at Matt Kenseth's car after a crash at Bristol. Number 3. Kyle Busch. When it comes to controversial driving, the Busch name appears twice on our list. And younger brother Kyle Rowdy Busch has more than earned his reputation as one of the dirtiest drivers in NASCAR history. While marriage and team ownership have somewhat tempered his most extreme behavior in recent years, Busch built his career on a foundation of aggressive driving that frequently crossed the line from competitive to dangerous. The most shocking example of Busch's disregard for racing etiquette came during the 2011 NASCAR Truck Series race at Texas Motor Speedway. After contact with championship contender Ron Hornaday Jr. under caution, yes, you heard that right, under caution, Busch deliberately drove into Hornaday's rear bumper at high speed, sending the veteran driver hard into the wall. The retaliation was so blatant and dangerous that NASCAR immediately parked Busch for the remainder of the race and fined him $50,000. Busch's reckless behavior extended beyond intentional wrecks. After crashing out of the 2021 Southern 500 at Darlington Raceway, Busch drove his damaged car through the garage area at dangerous speeds, running over safety cones and putting crew members at risk. The display of temper cost him another $50,000 fine for violating safety protocols. His aggressive driving has also sparked numerous physical confrontations, including a 2023 brawl with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. after the NASCAR All-Star race at North Wilkesboro Speedway. The fight resulted in a $75,000 fine for Stenhouse, the largest ever imposed by NASCAR for such an incident. Even away from the track, Busch's disregard for rules landed him in trouble. In 2011, he was cited for driving 128 miles per hour in a 45 mile per hour zone in North Carolina, behavior that resulted in a $1,000 fine, suspended jail time, and a 45-day license suspension. What makes Busch particularly divisive is his attitude toward other competitors. After a 2019 race at Las Vegas, he publicly criticized lapped drivers, calling it pathetic that some had never won late model races. Number 2. Dale Earnhardt Sr. No list of NASCAR's dirtiest drivers would be complete without the man whose aggressive tactics earned him the nickname The Intimidator, Dale Earnhardt Sr. While modern fans may remember Earnhardt as a legendary 7-time champion, those who raced against him knew a different reality. If you were between Earnhardt and the checkered flag, you'd better brace for impact. What made Earnhardt especially intimidating was the psychological warfare he waged through his rear-view mirror. Competitors would feel their stomachs drop when they saw the black number 3 car closing in, knowing that Earnhardt wasn't just willing to bump them, he relished the opportunity. This mental edge gave him an advantage before he even made contact. Earnhardt's aggressive driving style was on full display during the 1987 NASCAR All-Star race in his infamous pass in the grass maneuver. While defending against Bill Elliott, Earnhardt drove so aggressively that he veered onto the infield grass at high speed rather than yield position. Later in the same race, contact between Earnhardt and Elliott led to a flat tire for Elliott and significant post-race tensions. Perhaps the most notorious example of Earnhardt's win-at-all-cost mentality came in the 1999 Goody's Headache Powder 500 at Bristol. On the final lap, Earnhardt spun leader Terry Labonte to take the victory in a move that drew thunderous boos from the crowd. Earnhardt's unapologetic response became legendary. I didn't mean to wreck him, I just wanted to rattle his cage a bit. A phrase that perfectly captured his intimidation-based driving style. Even as a rookie in 1980, Earnhardt was making enemies. During the Virginia 500 at Martinsville, he caused a multi-car crash that landed his car on top of Richard Petty's hood. The incident led to a heated warning from Petty, but Earnhardt remained undeterred. Throughout the late 1980s, Earnhardt engaged in a fierce rivalry with Jeff Bodine that featured multiple on-track altercations. In the 1987 running of the Winston, Earnhardt's aggressive move knocked both Bodine and Bill Elliott out of contention, resulting in fines and escalating tensions between the drivers. What kept Earnhardt from the top spot on our list of dirty drivers was his undeniable skill behind the wheel. While his tactics were often questionable, his car control was legendary, allowing him to execute moves that less talented drivers couldn't even attempt. Earnhardt knew exactly how hard he could hit you without wrecking himself, a skill that made him both feared and respected. Earnhardt's tragic death during the 2001 Daytona 500 at age 49 shocked the racing world and led to significant safety improvements in NASCAR. While his aggressive driving style remains controversial, his impact on the sport is undeniable. For better or worse, the Intimidator forever changed what was acceptable on the racetrack, cementing his legacy as one of the sport's most fearsome and dirtiest competitors. Number 1. Curtis Turner. Before there was Earnhardt, before the Busch brothers, before anyone had even heard of Edwards or Stewart, there was Curtis Turner, the original dirty driver, whose legendary exploits both on and off the track make modern NASCAR bad boys look like choir boys by comparison. Born in Virginia in 1924, Turner didn't just drive dirty, he lived dirty. Learning his skills while running moonshine through mountain roads with revenuers in hot pursuit, Turner brought a wild, no-holds-barred approach to early NASCAR that shocked competitors and thrilled fans. Turner's approach to passing slower cars wasn't subtle, it was brutal. Fellow drivers described his passing technique as knock once, then kick in the door, an apt description for a man who viewed the track as his personal playground and other cars as mere obstacles. What made Turner truly dangerous was his willingness to take conflicts beyond the track. In one legendary incident, driver Billy Myers approached Turner with a tire iron after being put into the wall during a race. As Myers got close, Turner calmly pulled out a .38 pistol, aimed at Myers' midsection and asked, "Where you going with that tire iron, Billy?" Myers wisely replied, "Why, I'm just looking for a place to lay it down." Turner's infamous 1966 feud with Bobby Allison at the Myers Brothers 250 stands as one of the most notorious incidents in NASCAR history. The two engaged in a series of retaliatory bumps and spins over several laps, turning the race into something resembling a demolition derby. Officials eventually disqualified both drivers, but the situation became so heated that police intervention was required. As if his on-track antics weren't enough, Turner became the only driver on our list to be banned for life from NASCAR, not for dirty driving, but for challenging the authority of founder Bill France Sr. Needing money to support the newly constructed Charlotte Motor Speedway in 1961, Turner and business partner Bruton Smith attempted to organize a drivers' union with the Teamsters. France immediately banned Turner and Tim Flock from competition, with Turner's ban lasting 4 years before NASCAR reluctantly reinstated him in 1965. Despite his controversial tactics, Turner won 360 races across various racing series, including 17 in the NASCAR Grand National Series. His fearless driving earned him the nickname Pops, allegedly for the way he would pop other drivers on the track when passing them. What earns Turner the top spot on our list of dirtiest drivers isn't just his aggressive tactics, but the complete package: running moonshine, carrying firearms to the track, fighting with competitors, and challenging NASCAR's authority. Modern drivers might push the limits of clean driving, but none have matched the outlaw spirits that Curtis Turner brought to every aspect of his racing career. Turner's legacy as NASCAR's original bad boy was solidified in 1968 when he became the first NASCAR driver to appear on the cover of Sports Illustrated. A fitting recognition for the man who defined what it meant to be a dirty driver, long before corporate sponsorships and television cameras sanitized the sport. Which of these dirty drivers do you think had the biggest impact on NASCAR history? Share your thoughts in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching, and if you want to see more videos about the hidden sides of motorsport, make sure to hit that subscribe button. This is Track Reactions, and we'll see you at the track.